modern economies, a lot of impoverished neighborhoods and areas. And there is a major question about how to alleviate local poverty there. And the additional question is that can we, alleviating the local poverty, can it bring, new business opportunities? And for Sodexo, as one of Sodexo's comparative advantages is to issue social benefits as pass restaurant, the natural question was, hey, we can simply issue social benefits there that would boost economic activity in those impoverished areas. And so we just simply, why not issuing those local currencies that people are more and more interested in? But yet the problem is that it's Sodexo that has to issue now a currency, a local currency. And so it's very different compared with the existing project. And you have a major hurdle then. It's how to convince the inhabitants locally to trade the local currency. And why it's a major hurdle? Because if we go back to the monetary theory, we know that there is a confidence problem at the root of money trading. You need, to accept a given currency, you need to expect the other people also to accept the currency for payment services. And also, what is interesting is that it potentially, so in that literature, there is potentially no role, actually, in the current state of the literature, to understand the role of a company like Sodexo to ensure confidence. And so the natural research question in that project is what role companies like Sodexo can play to ensure confidence in a given local currency. And my research hypothesis is that Sodexo can be a guaranteeing institution that will be, in fact, sufficient to ensure confidence. And I will show that it happens under some specific conditions. So what I do is that I investigate monetary models where I simply take off the shelf those models and I add a guaranteeing institutions like Sodexo or a central banks for standard currency. And that guarantor has the possibility to intervene during those potential confidence crises. And the key result that I obtain is that, in fact, a guarantor like Sodexo is, in fact, sufficient to ensure confidence in a given currency and to ensure trading in that currency if two conditions. The first one, and it's a natural one, is that Sodexo has a sufficient amount of available resources to step in case of a confidence crisis and to guarantee the real value of the currency or the local currency. And more specifically, it means that Sodexo needs to have either internal funds coming from other business activities or the access to financial markets. But that's not sufficient. Why? Because you need more. You need that the guarantee is not necessarily only there. You need this guarantee to be credible. And our guarantee is credible, you need incentives. And so how to have incentive for stepping in for companies like Sodexo. And this can be the whole of a credible CSR commitment. So the incentive is played by the perception by the public that Sodexo has a social objective. So in a way, those local people expect Sodexo to take them into account when making decisions. But let me make a step back. So to some extent, what I'm saying is that Sodexo has the ability to issue a local currency. Why? Because Sodexo has the resources for that, and also if Sodexo properly manages its reputation and its commitment to a CSR, it has also the incentive, or at least the perceived incentive, to guarantee the local currency. But let me just ask two questions and open the discussion about that. Should Sodexo be a local currency issuer? And also, I've mentioned confidence crisis. Has Sodexo to worry in general about managing confidence crisis? And the two openings are the beginning of answer to those two questions. The first one is that I've talked about local currency, but what is local in local currency? And this is connected in France to what is local, for example, in the suburbs and what is local in the countryside. Is it different or not? So this goes back to the question about what are spatial inequalities in France and how do they look like and how does it shape the need for issuing local currency. And this is something I'm working on. And the second thing, which is connected to the cases I'm working on is, hey, confidence problems are not only something that may happen for local currency. It can happen for many other activities, including Sodexo benefits and rewards activities, so social benefits insurance in general. And the case study is about Tunisia, where something like this happened. So thanks a lot for your attention.